Greetings. Today I would like to show you a solution of one problem, a problem of finding an unlike ball among the other balls. Question. You have 8 metallic balls and one of them is heavier than the others. All the other balls have the same weight. You are allowed to use a balance scale only twice to find the heavier ball. How can you determine which ball is heavier with just two measurements? What we have 8 metallic balls. We have balance scale and we can perform only two measurements in order to find the metallic balls. The um, deep, unlike metallic ball. So let's think about what we can do. We can actually put all balls on the scales. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 balls on one scale on one side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. So, and if we see that one ball is heavier on the right side, so this right side will be heavier. Then you take the four balls from this right side and do the same measurements. So you put it, you split them in one bowl and another bowl. So, and of course the right side will be heavy again. So finally you take one bowl and second bowl, put them into different bowls, split them, and finally you find the right one. In this case you use 3 measurements, but this is too many measurements and not acceptable. So what another solution? Another solution is similar. You can take two balls and two balls, measure them, and if you find that they're equal, so you don't need to consider them anymore. So the weight is equal, so you don't need to consider them anymore. You can take another two pairs, and one pair becomes heavier. Finally, you measure the last two balls and find the heavier one. Okay, you have another solution. So you just can take four pairs of balls and measure them, and finally this way you find the heaviest. And in the last scheme you even have 4 measurements, which is also not appropriate. So both 3 methods are inappropriate. So in the first one you use 3 measurements, and 3 measurements in the second, and 4 measurements in the last. But what's important? Notice one important thing, that you all the time deal with a pair of balls, and some of them are balanced. So you have balanced balls here, balanced pairs here. So you have another pair, balanced pair, and balanced pair. And here in the first one you have 3 pairs which are balanced. So you need to detect those balance somehow, and then you don't need to measure them. So maybe you can start with the last one. So you can take 2 pairs of balls and don't measure them. How to do that? You don't. So you need to find a way not to measure this pair, because you know they're balanced. Okay, let's put them aside. put this pair aside. We don't. So I speak about the same pair. I don't want to measure it, but instead I measure all other pairs. So I take these 3 and another 3, put them to different sides. And if I find that one side is heavier, in that case my balanced balls are not need to be measured. On the other hand, if on the scale I have balance, then it means that two balls which are not measured so far needs to be measured again. In this case, I can use only 2 measurements. Okay, let's talk about it in more details. So I don't put on the scale 2 balls. I assume that they are balanced. And if it is so, I measure 3 other pairs. And I notice if these 3 pairs are balanced, so if I see balance here now, in that case the pair should be tested. So I will use only 2 measurements for that. So if I test the pairs, so I'll find one which is heavier, or maybe another one. Now let's consider the fact that in this on the balance I don't have equal, so I have one ball which is heavier here, which is heavier on the right side. In that case, this will be heavier, and in that case, the initial pair, which is not on the scale, will be equal. So I don't need to measure it. In that case, I will still need to measure these 3 balls. I need to consider these 3 balls to measure and reduce amount of work. So then if I measure these 3 balls, what will happen? I will just use the same algorithm. I just put one ball aside. I just consider this like a test ball and put it aside, and 2 other balls I measure. If one ball is heavier, so it will be a winner, but if those 2 balls are equal, then my blue ball, my test ball, will be the heavier one. So in this case I have 2 measurements. So let's just complete, or let's finalize the solution, how the solution would look like. So first measurement, divide the 8 balls into 3 groups, 2 groups with 3 balls each, and 1 group with 2 balls. So I mean this group is 2 balls. Weight the 2 groups of 3 balls against each other. So I mean weight these 3 groups. First case, if 2 groups of 3 balls are balanced, in this case, this means the heavier ball is in the group of 2 balls that weren't weighed. So in this case, I just need to weight the 2 remaining balls against each other to find the heavier one. In this case, I used only 2 measurements. So case number 2, if one of the groups of 3 balls are heavier, like in this picture, in that case, 2 balls from the heavier groups, and okay, in this case, 2 balls which I didn't measure do not need to be considered, because then they will be balanced. I need to consider the group of 3 balls, and I need to measure I need to take two of these balls and measure again. So if one of these two balls, which I measure again, is heavier, I found the heaviest ball. And in the other situation, if one of these two balls is if two balls weight is the same. In this case, the remaining ball from the heavier group is the heavier ball. So in this case, I found my heavier ball here. Which I didn't measure. So this is a solution. I hope you like this question. I hope you like my video, and I hope you find it interesting. Thank you very much for your attention. See you again on my channel. Bye bye.